coming to you live from the province of Hyrule. This is the Link Up Past Randomizer Daily Race, hosted by Speed Gaming. My name is Nick. My co-commentator today is JD Silvergun. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing fabulous. This is a really fun mode to just look at, as well as commentate on, because there's so much gonna be happening in the next couple of minutes for people who are not as knowledgeable when it comes to glitches, because that is what we are doing today.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they went with the 4 racer layout. That's going to be a bit challenging for us and the viewers, but should be pretty interesting. There's some good names on this restream, some very experienced runners, so this should be a lot of fun.
A good mix of new runners, as we have seen in the mentor tournament that is currently ongoing over at the Go Mode podcast as well, and also so one another mentor. So it is definitely gonna be a good one.
So while we're waiting for them to get started, for those that are not aware, the hybrid major glitches rule set, it involves a lot of clipping. This is basically the randomizer equivalent of the all dungeons restricted major glitches vanilla speedrun in terms of the type of stuff that you would see. So we'll see all of that tech if they get the items and more that is specific to randomizer. It's going to be a lot of clipping in the overworld and a little bit inside the dungeons as well.
Yes, there are 4 specific clips that we're gonna see when it comes to the dungeons. Otherwise, all of the overworld stuff is basically allowed. There are a few things because this mode is a few years older, a few tricks that would not be considered so much in logic, but they are allowed, like the different mirror wraps and tam swams.
The mirror wrap is nothing new per se, but the the swim clipping definitely is a very new development. It's a fun one.
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks like we're getting started here.
Yeah, we see all of our runners starting in Link's house. Which, honestly, there are 2 ways we have seen people starting out in this mode. This is the most common because you can just head over, do 2 quick check here on the right side, and then you can select what you do after that.
Just rupees so far, but yeah, I agree. The Link's house start, even the people that don't do the Link's house start usually go up the mountain and route in a houlihan, so they end up in this area right away anyway. It's very common in glitch modes to just get these quick ones out of the way because they're one-offs.
Yeah, absolutely. And interesting enough, we do see Kibbs going for that 50 rupee, however losing out on the 300 that the other runners are getting from Hobo. That is a little bit unfortunate early on.
They might go back for it, but what we just saw on the right side was what is called a funny auto walk thing, and there was, I believe, the fire rod in the sanctuary. But when you transition while standing on the screen transition, the game will auto walk you for whatever reason through any collision and across a certain amount of distance. And so that's how we were able to reach the island without flippers or mirror or any of that.
Yeah, absolutely. There are going to be a few places where we could potentially see that auto walk, depending on just a few different ways to get to those areas. We have to see if they decide to do that. And we do see that green pendant Misery Mire, which is quite an interesting one when we are speaking about HMG.
Definitely. To mirror the vanilla run, as I was talking about earlier, but it isn't logic in this mode for you to clip from Mire to Hera, and then from Hera to Swamp, because in the original run years ago, like 2014, they would get the hookshot from Mire, actually, as a way of getting it early in the speedrun. So the way that it implements in Randomizer is key logic. The Swamp small key is only a 1 in 10 chance of being vanilla, unlike the no glitches modes where in a non-key sanity setting, the small key has to be in the first box every time. So that is not the case this time. And also Hera can be required to be unlocked from Mire as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We could see people just doing Philipot as a way to not having to go there, but then they might miss out on a few stuff once they decide to clip the Swamp. But looking at a little bit more what we have seen while we were talking here, we did see 4 bombs from the bush crab, which is really nice, having that little bit of extra bombs before heading into CAC and further beyond that, because we're gonna be using the bombs a bit when it comes to different clips.
Yeah, that's nice that they got one of the good bush crab drops. You always either want bombs or 20s, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, one thing I have done, because I was in the mentor tournament, just those 3 rocks above here near Fortune Teller, getting some bombs out of there early can help a bunch when it comes to your rupee counts this early on. So those are definitely something to recommend.
So, Keeb's Gaming is decided to go to town early, and it looks like, well, we're going to see what the other runners decide to do, but putting off and delaying going to town is somewhat of a common strategy in glitched modes because you can get a bottle and powder, most likely, and or flute and full clear the town, but we are not seeing that from our left side. And, well, actually, 3 out of 4 are going to town, pardon me.
Yeah, Piffetel deciding to do the more common instance of Death Mountain Ascend, also known as DMA. There are a few ways to get up there, but he decided to do the more common one.
Yes, that is the one that we see in the vanilla speedruns as well. It's a way to bypass the glove requirement and just access the entrance of the cave directly.
Unfortunately, that was one of the items we found here in town. as well as that fighter sword.
Yeah, with sword in the back of blinds as well is a good find early. Then we saw Bombos on the old man rescue. So not going to be needed for Ice Palace, but it may be needed for Meyer, which I will have to wait and see later. We also see Hera is not Meyer locked or fire locked. The big key is just available, which is never a guarantee in this mode.
Yeah, you can very well find a big key in the big chest, which is just awful. But yeah, looking out here, except for those first set of items, we haven't really seen anything else in CAC, which is good for crit, because of the more stuff that was here, the better it would be for the other runners. And a very nice sync going on between Sky and the Fox. Oh, we already have a second sword. Oh, that was a really solid lead clip down to Graveyard Ledge from crit.
Yep, the Graveyard Ledge DMD, or Death Mountain Descent, very nicely done. This is a common area to go to farm bombs in the early game as well. And it's good to just get it out of the way since it's a one-off. And when we clip off of the mountain this way, the camera is slightly broken, so we're able to hula-hand directly after descending the mountain, which is something that you are never going to see in a non-glitched mode.
Yep. And because when I'm jumping down like that, it will make so that you're in sort of like the same camera state as you would see when you do to get the hula hand room. So Kritel just immediately getting some money, and it's looking like he is gonna keep off a little bit further with going to town and head down to South Shore.
Yeah, so this is a kind of a generous seed so far. The Master Sword and a Fire Rod and a glove. Honestly, I'm hoping we see something interesting with this seed, like a Dark World Moon Pearl, or just something to give them a little bit of trouble.
Yeah, and we did see that Desert is one of the crystals, so potentially you can just grab a very early one while you're here.
Yeah, I expect to see them do that, especially with the glove, because there is a way to access the back without the glove, but if you don't have the flute, you would be trapped behind the rocks after you kill the boss, but that is not going to be an issue today, though.
Yeah, it won't, but we have a drowned blue cane masking himself against the water there. We have our purple ballad as well in Desert, but that blue cane, we will not see too much of it. It isn't really an item for this category that will open up new glitches, unfortunately. Even with how much I love this item.
It is logical for Spike Cave, but and it's a safety, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, nothing new gets unlocked with it, basically. But yeah, we are seeing both items of desert on the right side here, which is really, really nice for runners. They can do the stuff outside and then clip back up to get to the boss after they've done stuff like heading to K45 and checking in the shuffleboard cave. But here is saying, I'm just gonna head in immediately.
Yeah, Fox and Keebs are going for the boss, and Sky is clearing up some overworld. It's kind of a common route that we see. You clip to the right to K45, then go back.
To be fair,
checkerboard
but the reason why he might not have done that, look at his magic meter. He did not have the same luck as Keeb and the Fox. So that might be why he decided to just hold on a little bit with it.
Definitely. I mean, there is a little bit of magic inside the back of Desert, but you would probably want some for the boss as well. Because the Master Sword actually does very little damage to the Light World bosses due to weird damage tables, so it's not a fun fight.
Yeah. And for you guys, look, we are talking a lot about our free rounds here, but look over Critel. This trick is considered in logic, so we could potentially see flippers here in Waterfall Cave.
That's a very good point. Yes, water walking and fake flippers are in logic. So on the overworld, the logic of hybrid major glitches is the same as overworld glitches, with the differences of the dungeons that I had mentioned earlier. So yeah, flippers could be in Ice Palace as well.
Yep.
If they have access to it.
Yeah, and the way they would get access to it is either through Titans or through mirrors. So it would be interesting to see if they get any of that. Although we do know that there is 3 pendants in Dark World. One of them is at Meyer. It could potentially be that we might not have ever to go in there, but it is food for thought.
Krithel just getting some armor off of Zora, a red boomerang, and Quake Medallion along the way with the South Shore, which the boomerang is probably good for him because he doesn't have a sword, so he can now hit switches and do things. But the Quake, we will see if that is useful or not. Can't imagine anyone will miss it.
Yeah.
And we get a crystal on...
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Fox did a little bit of a different clip to get over here by doing an upwards teleport near the entrance to back of Desert.
Oh yeah, that's definitely one of the options that you have available. So
it's just not common to see it though. We usually see people coming from K45 to get to that one.
Yeah, it just depends. If you're coming from the other way, that's the one you would use. So Krithel into Spiral Cave, still without a sword, but not being held back. Only 20 rupees. So meanwhile, our other 3 runners have completed Desert, and the whole entire desert area except for Bombo's tablet. Not really finding anything, though.
A little bit unlucky there. And unfortunately, they did get the gloves, so we are not gonna see any swim clips to get to the back of Escape. It is one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, I did that in a race yesterday, and of course the gloves ended up being very available later. Oh, King of Samaria and Hammer in Paradox Cave for Krithel. That's certainly not going to be missed by our other runners.
Yeah. I had to practice seed for the tournament where I actually found gloves in there, so it was like, ooh, this is perfect for me.
Yeah, it's sometimes...
Unfortunately, not in the match, so it was like, whatever, but still, having that little bit of satisfaction.
Hey, it's strong play in some seeds, to be sure. Okay, some Sky and Fox doing South Shore. Meanwhile, Keebs Gaming is going up the mountain, rescuing the old man. Krithel doing a Sank start, finally going to town, it looks like.
Yeah, he was able to find the King of Samaria and Hammer on the mountain though, so that is pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely.
So you're basically right now looking at either Hyrule Castle or Easton for our Dark World access at the moment.
You know, actually, something that I think we forgot to mention is that pod is actually a sphere 0 location in this mode. How much of it is logically accessible, it depends on the key layout and bow access, but there is a clip from the mountain we can do called Kiki Skip to go directly into the Palace of Darkness, and no Moon Pearl is required. So that is another area as well that is open for them to search.
Indeed. Have to see where our runners go. One of those 3 item dense locations. Yeah, so far they are cleaning out what we have seen other do. Kittel decides to. This is a perfect time for him to head to town, while we see Kiebs also checking that back of escape, while the Foxtrix and Darkened Sky is checking South Shore, and is probably gonna take this up to Sora.
Yeah, certainly. There's no reason to abandon these checks once you start on the route. The spheres are so broad in glitched modes. Like, it generally rewards a more thorough playstyle.
And the only reason we would see any of them skip out on South Shore temporarily would be if they were able to find Mirror, and then they could do it together with the Hype Cave.
So Keebs is showing us a check we've not seen this yet. Keebs showing us that you can get to King's Tomb without mitts if you jump off of the mountain in a somewhat precise way. Unfortunately for him, it's nothing though.
Yeah. Although our runners do have the sword, so they could have used another movement to just destroy the bush in front of them and walk off.
Yes, that's true.
It is just when you do the clip, otherwise you might not have the sword, but our runners were very lucky with getting Monster Sword super early.
So, having the sword, Keebs might decide to just clear Hera right here, and this will be something we haven't seen yet. Because Krithel didn't have any weapons the first time he popped into here.
Yeah. One item that we have not is still left in here, so could very well be something good. We're going for that little bit more crystal focus on his side, while the others seem to be more of clearing out the overworld.
You know, another interesting thing about this mode, and we're getting the new DMA from Darkened Sky in case you missed it the other 2 times, but no one has gone to Uncle or Hyrule Castle yet, and that is a common skip in glitched modes because we can use the mirror to access 3 other item locations comboed with that. So they generally say that if you are missing something around the hour mark, that it's time to check the Uncle, but we are not even close to that yet. So I'm not surprised that no one has went to the castle yet.
Yeah. And yeah, to be fair, right now, as you were saying earlier, Hold seems like a very nice one. They have been able to find Ball, they just need to get some sort of goo in it, and they will not need the bow for the initial checks. So that could be that's definitely something I want to see soon. It would be our logic, but you want to not extra dip places as much as possible.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. Well, the interesting thing is when we clip to pod, a second crystal for Keebs, by the way, when we clip to pod, it's in what's known as cave state, so they actually will be able to unlock the front door without using a key. So even though it's not in logic to do so, they could progress through the dungeon. They won't be able to complete it without the bow and hammer, but it is an option available to them.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, Fox Lix is gonna follow Gibbs. He's also gonna clean out Terra. I would have maybe argued to wait a little bit because they already found one item in the front and check the other things first, because you could then potentially then clear these together when you are doing Hera. Hello, Randomizer.
I missed if the second item was on the boss. They have the small key though, which is kind of interesting. There are options that they have with that small key to use it in Swamp, even though it's not in logic to do so.
Yeah. Yeah. My mentor during the tournament basically said this small key is the most important one in the game.
I mean, generally you want to use it on Swamp anyway if you can get away with it, because it's faster than coming from Meyer, but dang it, I missed it again. Did you see what dropped on the boss on Fox's side?
No, I didn't. I was looking at Quitel and his Lamola fight. But we are seeing Dark Sky there soon though, so...
Well, in any case, no one has done Hera Basement yet. Whether that's because they're saving the key or because there's no item there, or both, we'll find out soon enough, hopefully.
Yeah. And as you see, there was the hammer and the red cane, and both in the bottom part of... or is it the middle part?
Whatever, it depends who you ask. Well, the spoiler says it's the middle, the one with the block, but a lot of people refer to it as the bottom of Paradox because you fall into it. So, it kind of open to interpretation, if you will. Oh, thank you. Our tracker, one of our trackers, has said that it was a piece of heart from the boss. So both items have been cleared out of Hera, so they do not need to use the small key in Hera, which is convenient for our runners today.
Yeah, thanks so much to our trackers, D2 Kemps and Hugo Maya for keeping an eye on when we are just sprouting off ridiculous things.
Yes, tracking is definitely a lot more difficult than you might think if you've never tried it before.
It is a very appreciative work though. And we are seeing Kibbs is gonna do the clip. He's gonna clip up and just seemingly check what medallion is needed for TR. I was thinking that maybe he would take this time to clip down to Sora, but it seems like he will not do that.
Yeah, it probably doesn't want to isolate the waterfall items, but yeah, this is a common play, and it is in logic to do this, by the way. So Super Bunny Cave can have the Moon Pearl.
Yeah, I'm just more used to the mirror thing at the bottom of the mountain. Is the one I'm more used to doing when it comes to this one.
Definitely, yeah. An early mirror sometimes can be dreaded by runners in this mode because it unlocks a lot of places that the Moon Pearl can be. There's an in-logic way to descend the mound with the mirror, even though it's not commonly done anymore. It was when they started creating these glitched modes, it was the way they decided to make the logic. So that those areas would include like TR, Village of Outcasts, Skullwoods, and this area that Keebs is in right now.
Yeah. At the same time, we see Foxlix is going to be our first run into pod.
Yes, that was a Kiki skip for those that are not aware. Just a simple bomb clip through the wall. And we're in Cave State Palace of Darkness. And Fox is going to go ahead and open the front door with the free Cave State key, and then go back and reset the dungeon.
Which will put him into pod state, so that... And the reason why he's doing this now, and you might be wondering, why not just continue doing it? Well, if you were to pick up the big key, you are not going to have it for the rest of the dungeon, so you're not going to be able to get it back. So it is, it is a little bit dangerous to open chests when you are in a different state to the dungeon you're in.
Definitely. And it's interesting that you bring that up, because Fox is actually one of the few players that would be able to solve that situation but by doing the pod basement clip, which is something I would not encourage anyone to do, because it's very arduous. It's one of the most difficult glitches in the game. I would say even more difficult than like no logic tech. It's just too many one-frame adjustments, but nonetheless, you don't want to eat the big key in Palace of Darkness, is the moral of the story.
Yeah. But yeah, nice crystal for Quittel as well coming back and just thinking of Hera, trying to find that the moon pearl somewhere. We did see Book in Super Bunny, so potentially we could see a moon pearl on either Ether or Bombo's tablet.
Fox actually just found the moon pearl in the Stalfos basement in Pod, so which is an HMG classic.
Yeah,
Actually, moon pearl in Pod.
absolutely.
Although, and I believe it is in logic. If there was a key in the first check of Pod, I believe that is logical without the bow.
It was indeed.
And Krithel close behind, also into the Palace of Darkness.
Yeah, Kieb's taking that book immediately and checking out Bombo's tablet. Then,
just 5 rupees, unfortunately.
Yeah. It looks like Fox is gonna be doing some mimic clipping.
This is a choice. I wonder if Fox has deduced that there are actually items on this side. A common play in HMG is you can kind of read the logic and figure out if there's 2 small keys on the right side and just skip it entirely. But yeah, so this, for those that are not aware, requires 8 or 9 one-frame inputs into the wall to get the mimic out of bounds.
Yeah, and then we're making him slide off after we have clipped him through. It looks beautiful, if you haven't seen this before. Yeah, Dark and Sky deciding to bite the bullet and head to Hyrule Castle.
Interesting. We'll see if he finds anything, because this could be a big advantage. Our other runners could put this off for quite some time.
Yeah.
And Fox gets the mimic clip.
Yeah. Already attempted.
Krithel just hovering across beats him to it.
Well, that's one way to do it. Also, getting up the lamp there on the Bollock side.
So that is definitely not in logic. So the lamp's behind the bow, which is kind of interesting.
It absolutely is, because there's a lot of places where you would use those items together, so that is quite an interesting one.
So Sky has a tempered sword. I'm guessing there was like a vanilla sword, or in the Uncle Passage.
French vanilla sword. It was what it says.
Very close to vanilla.
Yeah, very, very close.
Firepower is not going to be an issue for the sea, I think.
Yeah, Yutan giving us another shield upgrade and a big key, so that is quite nice. And yeah, Fox there not reading his items, the keys a little bit wrong there. Did pick up an extra key in harmless anyway.
Yeah, sometimes it's good to make sure if you're not 100% confident of the logic. Like sometimes you just think you might have miscounted or whatever the case may be, but it is a slight time loss. So there are a lot of runners who are able to keep track of that.
Yeah. Also a very nice hand jump also being performed. Only giving him so far a compass and map though, signaling that there is going to be an item on the boss.
Definitely. And we see that Pod is a crystal as well. Thank goodness for that HUD indicator that we didn't used to have before.
Yeah. And you're looking at the other, just spouting it out here. We see a 5-6, in fact, in Ice Palace. So, and also, we also do require Swamp, so we are gonna have to find those flippers at some point. But then we have pendants in Thief Town and Turtle Rock, which is also two very interesting ones to see pendants in.
Oh, I missed the map check. Okay, so we already knew that, but thank you for thank you for that information.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
Keeb's also going to Palace of Darkness.
I totally didn't steal it from the trackers. Yeah, Kieb have also appeared in Pod. Did not decide to open the door though, so he's doing this the overall glitches way.
I might have just forgotten. I don't know. I mean, if you switch the mode that you're playing a lot,
look at what Fox is doing. He's
Oh,
trying to keep the
wow.
railing.
Oh wow, I missed it.
Was not
But,
able to
yeah,
get it though, but that was a good try though.
oh, they're both doing it. Oh no. See, this is a very difficult trick, and props to them if they succeed at it. But this is a very advanced tech that is arguably not even worth learning, but it is very impressive nonetheless.
Do we need like one of those disclaimers? So not try this at home. Our runners are very professional people. You should not do this at home.
Yeah, I mean, they know they need the bow for Eastern, so there's no way this is really saving time by doing this, to be honest. And both of them, unfortunately, got popped out of the rail, which means that their adjustments were not, like, frame perfect enough. So, Krithel's setting it up again with a lamp-controlled Samaria bounce to get super speed off the stairs, which is something that we're not normally able to do.
Yep.
Sick Kid just bombs on Sky's side. I'm not sure if we saw that before. Meanwhile, Fox into GT. Wow.
Yeah. GT is just so good when it comes to overall glitches and HMG because there can be so much items in here, and it has all 3 items required to check every single chest in the basement. So I can absolutely understand why you're setting here early.
Well, it's not going to be in logic without the hookshot, but the hookshot could be on the right side, potentially, or behind the Ice Armos fight. But, yes, for those that are not aware, the clip that Fox used to get to GT is in logic, so progression could be here, regardless of not having the crystals to open it normally.
Yeah. And Fox does a very good bomb jump there to be able to get up to the Staffels room.
Krithel is still working on this basement clip. There's once you get into the rail, there's a sequence of like 4 adjustments that you have to repeat. It's like 4 or 5 times, and the goal is to move down through the rail. And I think he actually got it. This is the final setup for the bomb clip to actually get through the rail. Maybe not. Maybe not quite sure.
He didn't seem to be happy about the position he was in.
The final step is this bomb, and then 1 buffer to the right, and then he's gonna dash through to the left.
And he gets it. Good job.
Well, okay, then this is certainly not in logic, in case there's any confusion about that, but it is legal.
And we must have some things that would be considered out of logic, but you could do, because otherwise we would not have any. Otherwise we would have only stuff. I don't even know what to continue this sentence. So I'm just gonna stop.
No, it's better to have tricks allowed that are not in logic, because it lets you learn more about the logic more easily. So, like, a lot of things that we do, like Harapot and Icebreaker, are not in logic in this mode, even though it is a glitch mode, in case anyone was wondering about that. Okay, Mitts on Fox's side in the rando room.
And the item on Helmaso was indeed really good. It was a flute.
Yeah, it's early enough that could save time in the seed, potentially. He can check Sick Kid as well with the flute activation if he wants to, so it's not just a one-stop trip.
Yeah, well, riddle me this. So, imagine Quitel also heading to GT now, also picking up that Titans. That means that he could potentially then do Ice Palace.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely could if they want to. Yeah, they have glove, and hammer, and so it's completable with the fire sources. But interestingly enough, it's not going to come up in this seed, but we can actually enter the dungeon without killing the freezer in the first room. There's a clip that is in logic to bypass that. So your fire rod and bombos potentially could be in Ice Palace, but that is obviously not the case today.
Yeah. However, we have found the bow. It is in Hype Cave.
Okay. That's a
Keeps giving
good
us that
find.
information. Yeah, and look at the hovering from Krytel.
Yeah, Krythal is an extremely proficient hoverer, especially showing the right side pod hover, which is very precise, so it's not going to have any issues with this, I imagine.
Yeah.
And Sky also mimic clipping. This is kind of interesting. This is normally more of like an inverted or a cross keys thing, or like the rare seed where like you don't need a bow for pod or eastern.
Yeah, and we could also potentially see it if you're doing stuff like door random, but who in the right mind would do that? Definitely not me.
Yeah, I mean, I've done Dorando a couple times. Like, I'm on the fence about how I feel about it. I have to really, really be in the mood for it.
Yeah, it's understandable. And here we're seeing actually Kiev doing one of those 10 swams.
Yeah, that was very nice. So it just needs to exit and then do a dash turn to re-enter, not in swim state.
Yeah. Also a little warning for people who wanted to try this out. It is better to be a little bit more to the left than to the right, because when you are going upwards or when you want to go in the first time, you are gonna move slightly to the right. So it's better to be a little bit more to the left when you're trying to clip in there.
And we see a catfish DMD on Krythal's side and gets a shovel out of it. So we'll have to see what that becomes.
Yeah, and if you found mirrors, you could do that at the same time as doing Stumpy. So we have to see if that will potentially be a good combo. Fox here deciding to play it safe with the Gibdos. He's on 1 heart, so it's totally understandable.
So, Keeps clipped through a barrier in near the pyramid to get a fake flipper and swim over to hammer pegs, and this is actually in logic without the mitts. I mean, we know the mitts are behind the hook shot, but this check, which is nothing, is in logic though.
Yeah, and Fox letting out his fairy because he did want to death warp out of there.
So Fox got a different bow, it looks like, in GT, and is climbing now.
That is spicy. That is really, really spicy. Because, yeah, you do have to defeat Aga 2 as well when it comes to this mode. So, yeah, doing GT just in full here, understandable.
Yeah, that's a good point that we didn't mention. This is a 7-7 defeat Ganon, it's not a fast Ganon, so the Aga 2 fight definitely required, and Fox not wanting to double dip this large dungeon that has no exit other than through the top. You know, very proactive.
I do also quite like this because of potentially we have 4 ites at the top. Could be a lot of different things, but it also puts him also near pyramid, so could potentially just get some. Could get those tricks that we saw earlier done quickly.
Yeah, I'm curious what Fox's plan is because he doesn't have the hook shot. I mean, I think that he's one of those like can hover if he has to type of runners, but I could be mistaken. Say, I wouldn't do this because I don't know how to hover. I can Moldarm bounce, but if you're not in go mode, you do not want to risk orphaning an item in the Moldarm 2 chest.
Yeah, it is definitely a little bit of a gamble to do that because
I have done it before and I don't want to do it again.
yeah, in HMD there can be a lot of different items there, so it is definitely do this at your own risk sort of situation. And so Foxley also trying a little bit of NMG strats on Lemon too. I do like those stats.
Yeah. Fox is a very proficient NMG runner. It has a 124 time, if I recall correctly, which is very fast.
Yeah, that's very solid.
Yeah, that's very fast. I can't state that enough. That's a very fast time.
Yeah, that was a very well timed the stuff happening on the restream as Dark and Sky decided to sell to Maya, because when you're clipping in here, it does look a little bit funky. So that just lined up good as well.
Yeah, so we see that it was Bomb Boost for Meyer after all, so Quake not going to be... Oh, I mean, Quake is logically required for Turtle Rock, but we have access to the dungeon without using the front door. So,
Yeah.
Pendant Meyer, as we already knew, this is an interesting play from Sky.
Absolutely.
Wonder if Sky's going to full clear this, or take this play into Hera and Swamp. Is able to get the green pendant from Moldorm if he wants to, and knows that there's not an item on Vitreous.
Yeah, so let's talk about this then. If we are gonna talk about the pendants, we have to consider then what item we could then see on stuff on pedestal or on the green pendant. Looking at the tracker, both hookshot and flippers could potentially be there, so I can kind of see the thought process, but it does feel a little bit early to start thinking about that in this seed, because there's still a lot of stuff you can do.
Yeah, it's definitely an at your discretion type of play, because HMG is an extremely high variance mode. Like sometimes you can get crazy jet seed or like a trolley full clear. Like there's no way to know. I mean,
and I might be a little bit biased with thinking about PED already, because I did get 3 PED seeds during my tournament.
oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. That's especially in a mode where the game can force you to skip items that you would normally need. Like, for instance,
Yeah.
Mirror and Hammer are not required for Swamp, for those that are not clear on that. You would like to have them because it's nice, but the game definitely doesn't care if you have them or not in this mode.
Okay, Fox did give 2 tries on the hover on the Moldon 2 fight, but decided to stop it then. I don't agree with that. That sure, at some point you're gonna be, yeah, why am I here? I should be somewhere else and doing stuff, but you have invested a lot of time getting up there.
Yeah, it takes about 3 to 3.5 minutes if you're a very good runner to climb GT up to that point, and he didn't find any progression up there, it looks like, so that is a pretty unfortunate time loss. But I don't know, if I know Fox, he's very confident of his abilities. Probably doesn't feel good about it, but it certainly is going to keep going, and I would say still has a chance in the seed. This is a very large race, by the way. 9 entrants.
Yeah. I wonder how Fox feels now finding that bow that's released immediately after leaving GT. I wonder how that feels.
Well, at least he wasn't the only one mimic clipping, because that if you're buffering it like that, it is not quick, even if you are successful at it.
Yeah.
Looks like Fox might be a little bit low on this clip. Yeah.
Yeah. You need to be on the upper half.
Well, it gets it. Well, yeah, Fox is a very knowledgeable runner, but maybe a little bit rusty on glitch modes.
That is understandable.
Because I know his primary focus is usually like an NMG grind, and they do have an NMG league that's it's either going on now or starting very soon.
Yep. Yeah, it does seem like Dr. Sky has decided that I'm just gonna go ahead and collect this green pendant. Has not been to Eastern Palace yet, so we could see him just wanting to entirely clear out that area. And a very nice spooky accent being activated there as well.
Yeah, that was nice. I'm a tiny bit surprised that no one's in Eastern. I mean, there is a lot of density available in the game, but it is a crystal, and Eastern is one of those dungeons that usually it's not going to get any faster. But, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the decisions these runners have been making. It's just a lot of options available constantly in a glitched mode. You're not really funneled to one location usually.
Yeah, definitely.
I didn't see if Sky.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I was just gonna say I didn't see what items he found in Meyer, but yeah, that's just he's definitely doing a safe strat for this fight. A tempered sword is great to have, as you were saying.
Yeah, tempered sword, blue king combo, pretty nice. Ooh, hook shot on.
Oh wow, that is a massive play! Wow. Okay.
Especially considering we were talking about earlier, you can clip here from Meyer all the way to Swamp. That is massive.
Wow, yeah. It being a pendant, like, they could put this location off for a very long time. It might even go into Swamp looking for the hook shot before coming here.
We did mention that Green Pendant Meyer is normally very interesting, and DC definitely lived up to that.
And not bothering to go to, well, I guess you don't need to unlock Hera if you have the hook shot, but you could have decided to get the swamp unlocking out of the way, but decides to just continue an overworld route, which is no problem.
Yeah, why not?
Krithel is climbing GT, Fox is back into Pod, going to finish Helmasaur.
Yeah. And we're gonna see Dark and Sky gonna do 2 upwards teleports to be able to get up to Village of Outcast.
Yeah, this is a really nice shortcut if you don't have the mitts.
Yeah. Also a little bit of a cool thing. If you come from the other way in the light world, you can do that to steal the item if you're not comfortable with the normal way to steal the item in.
That was actually the first. That's the first way that I learned to steal the item, actually, and it is fairly precise, I would say, but it is fun to just walk on the out-of-bounds areas of the map.
Yeah, definitely. It might be hard for new runners to learn how to dash turn, that precise, because that trick, that thing before you are comfortable with can make you take hours to get that movement first time.
Yeah, dash turning is something that is definitely not immediately obvious to a casual player. Like, I know when I first started watching Randomizer, like a few years ago or whatever, like, I didn't know you could enter Meyer without the hook shot and things like that.
Yeah, because of in Manila, they have hook shot when you go to Meyer. You're not used to these little cool other ways you can do stuff. Yeah, Dark and Sky is gonna be our first runner into Chieftown. So
Keebs is hovering. This is disgusting. Everybody can hover in this seat.
At least Christelle was able to get the Moldon to hover.
No, but that was simultaneous hovers then, because Keebs was hovering like the spot you normally bomb jump in the. Well, normally if you don't have the hook shot, I should say.
Yeah.
In the spike skip room.
I'm basically just waiting to see if Sky is gonna show us some hover as well. He doesn't need to, but just to show us that we have accidentally picked 4 runners that all can hover.
Yeah, I have watched Sky stream, a few times, and yeah, Sky is definitely a proficient hoverer.
Oh, is this gonna be good? Because Darken Sky did take a death in Chief Town. Yes, he did. I do. That is not what you want to do when you're doing Overworld and HMG. He's now in fake light world.
Yeah, maybe you just forgot, because I know Sky plays a lot of different modes of the randomizer, so that is an interesting thing to keep in mind. So this fake world phenomenon, which is normally patched out. Oh, we're getting a nice bomb clip from Fox, by the way. There's so much to talk about here.
Yeah.
But the reason we are able to explore Pod without the Moon Pearl is also because of the fake world thing. You don't actually count as being in the Dark World unless you do a world transition, which is through a portal. But the reason Sky had an issue there is because when you die in a Dark World dungeon without killing Aghanim, the game tries to force you into the Light World. But since he was already on a Dark World overworld screen, he was in what is known as the fake Dark World. So by screen transitioning, it loaded the real Light World. So that's what happened there. And this is vanilla behavior that's patched out of the no glitches randomizer.
Ooh, oh, look at it. We get to see a different version of the Ice Palace stuff.
Oh, did he do the citrus? I missed it.
Yeah, he did.
I've started doing that too as well.
He did about 4 tries with the bomb way, but was not able to get the timing down. So yeah, just decided to do citrus instead, which is that is not a recommended thing when it comes to.
No, citrus is fine. So citrus is fine. It's not like basement clip. I don't know. Well, the thing about that bomb clip is that there are only 2 pixels that it works for. So if running out of bombs and hearts, it's understandable to just do the citrus. I personally switched to doing the citrus myself because I play a lot of no logic where bombs are a valuable resource, and also hearts can be a valuable resource as well. Sometimes you want to keep your sword beams. So there are advantages to learning the citrus, although I would say it is definitely more difficult to pick up than a bomb clip. So
yeah,
just an option that is available to our runners.
Yeah. It did look good when he was lining up and throwing the bombs. It was the timing afterwards that he didn't nail down, which I think is the more easier parts of that clip. So it was unfortunate that he was able to get it.
Maybe just hasn't done it in a while. Well, thank you for watching so closely. I was trying to watch everyone at once, so but yeah, you do have to delay the dash slightly, if I recall correctly, for doing that. It's been a while for me as well.
Yeah. Normally, when you are doing it, after you throw the bomb, you start moving downwards, and you slash the sword once, and as soon as you get to the bottom, you can just dash turn, and you will get the timing.
Yeah, so it is just a slight delay to dash into the explosion.
Yeah, it looked more like he tried to YOLO it, which is, when it comes to these tricks, especially if you're trying to YOLO stuff in the overworld, that can lead to not a good time, basically.
Yeah, we've kind of glossed over it, but that's a really good point that you're bringing up, is that a lot of these glitches, especially in the overworld, can actually hard lock the game if they go wrong. And by hard lock, I mean they're forced to reset the console. They're not able to save and quit. So they would have lost progress if that were the case.
Yeah. Also, Mothla, why are you gonna be so ugly? Why is half magic lock behind you?
Yeah, so Sky has 3 crystals and the green pendant. Keeps has 4 crystals. Krithel has 3 crystals and a GT clear, and Fox has 3 crystals, working on a 4th. Just thought that'd be a good moment to keep status on our race, so it's pretty close. Because we know they're gonna have to climb GT, and they're gonna have to fight Vidi as well.
Yeah. Darken Sky did also find that the ether at the back of Skullwood, so both item at the back there. That's gonna feel good. He went to the back immediately, so didn't have to do anything in the front.
Well, that's a rare good layout, in my experience anyway.
Yeah. Oh, just a piece of heart from Mashala today. And there was nothing in the closet either, if I remember correctly. So, yeah, boo to Mashala, not keeping the good stuff for us. And that we saw talk about. Look at Kieb's scene.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. I didn't see what happened there, but hopefully he saved recently.
It looked like he was trying to do the DMD to get down on the north part of Hyrule, not to get down to Swamp Palace.
Oh, like a Dark World Death Mountain descent?
Yeah.
So he had just saved and quit to the mountain, if that was the case, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's good then, because he didn't lose progress. He just lost like about 30 seconds or so of time, which is definitely, you know, it's possible you can lose like crystal progress and like anything else.
Yeah, at worst times when I failed stuff, I have lost about 50 or so minutes, and that is just rough.
Yeah, I've done it before too. Oh, Ice Rod in Eastern, which we hope is not going to be required, but Sky is prepared if it is.
Yeah. He is in... I hate to say it, but he is in fact in pedestal mode, so...
But with no mirror, couldn't check the pedestal itself after the Skull Woods clear, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. And unfortunately, we have not seen anyone else being able to check it either, so it can be totally blind for all of us. And with it, nice movement there from Fox, clipping from the bottom up to Eastern Palace. Deciding to...
Yeah, that's a really good shortcut there, yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is better if you don't have glove, but of course ways to move fast, spin speed. But yeah, really nice one.
I think if you get it like right away, it still saves time over like going up like the normal way or the quote unquote normal way with super speed. But yes, as Malmo was pointing out in chat, it is definitely a flipper go mode for Sky, but the others are going to need the hook shot as well from Vitreous.
Great. Have you forgotten about something?
Yeah, I did not fix the camera, so it's hula hand on accident.
It's understandable. It happened to the best of us.
Yeah, it definitely can, and
And I'm also only ready to say these things because Quit is a good friend. So.
Oh yeah, Krithel is a very good runner. Has a 1 hour and 9 minutes time in all dungeons, restricted major glitches, which is a top 10 time. It's ridiculously fast.
Damn. Yeah, we have talked a bunch about both Critel, Fox. So let's talk about a bit about the other runners as well. The Dark in Sky. Here we have seen around the randomized scene here for a long time. A nice little resume, if you call it like that. And we also have Kieb, which is also in the Mentor tournament. And so he is probably the most green out of our runners here. But still putting up a really good show for us.
Yeah, his execution has been pretty solid, and being able to hover shows you that he's not really a beginner at the game. I mean, by any means.
I was talking more about the glitches and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, and yeah, I didn't mean to, put the other runners down compared to Krizzle and Fox. It's just I know more about them. I mean, I know Sky is fast. I've talked to him a little bit and watched his stream, but I don't know. Just a little bit of a knowledge gap on my part.
Yeah, that's fine. But yeah, what is gonna be our next progression? It feels like it's either you have to go into Turtle Rock now or go into Back of Sheaves.
Yeah, I mean, it could be pedestal, like you pointed out, which is, well, speed gaming chat typically loves that, but, I mean, there aren't any areas in the game that aren't logical apart from swamp, so, yeah, it's really anyone's guess. So we've seen Ice Palace from from Fox, excuse me. We've seen GT, all of it from Crithel. We've seen Meyer from Sky, but nobody's touched Turtle Rock. So yeah, I think you said it right there. That's really all that's left, other than a few obnoxious overroll checks like Smith Chain.
Smith Chain, I don't think we might have seen Stumpy from Dark and Sky, but I don't think we have seen Dig Spot yet from Crit. He being the only one who has the shovel at this point.
Yeah, that catfish shovel is a very interesting location.
Those sort of things definitely makes you scratch your own head and start wondering.
Yeah, it probably is trying to wait for an inefficient time to route it in, or just as a last resort, but not knowing that he's the only one that has it, at least on a restream.
Yeah, that is a good thing that's also to say. We have a bunch of other runners who we are not featuring today, which is all of them also really talented. So if you want to, you can head over and check them out as well. But we are only gonna be covering these four today.
And please, no spoilers if you're typing in chat. We're would just like to focus on the perspective of these runners.
Oh, I didn't even realize it until Malmen now pointed out. These runners were brought to you by the letter K. So nice call out there, Malmen.
Okay, so Keeb's into Thieves Town. I wonder. It looks like it's going to continue to the back, so this will be new information for us. Crithel's setting up a splash delete for Ice Palace as it gets it done.
Yep. And yeah, looking at his tracker, yeah, this feels like a good time.
So Sky getting his mitts and GT, the only one to get them in logic behind the hook shot.
Yeah. I wonder how long it would take for the other runners before they start looking at Meyer, because right now Dark and Sky has a good advantage for that.
Yeah, that play was a winner for sure. Akeem's actually not clearing Thieves Town after all. Just I was mistaken, assuming that he was. He was just backtracking out to avoid the fake world.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because without the mirror, routing can be a little difficult. Sky just slipped his mind and took the Death Warp, like, by habit of playing other modes.
Yeah. It is a gamble you do when you start looking at Steve Town. How much do I want to clear it? And yeah, as Man as well pointing out, we have also 3 other runners who are racing that is also starting with the letter K, so this race has been brought by the letter K.
Oh, we're getting Smith Chain from Keebs. This is interesting. With the frog there.
Yeah, the world tour. We could see him taking the world tour all the way up to Catfish if he wanted to.
This guy leaving a bomb on the GT Big Chest. A little disappointed that the key layout did not favor his route.
Yeah, fortunately that big key is on the right side, which is gonna take that one. Getting that one and then going to Big Chest takes a little time, which is really unfortunate.
Yeah. Well, we know that it's nothing as viewers, but this guy doesn't know that. And that is an interesting point you were saying about Thieves Town, because I did not see how many items were in the front. There are 4 in the dungeon itself, and it's possible to have up to 3 of them in the front 4, so depending on that, it can make it not enticing to go to the back.
Yeah, especially if you have not decided to play for pedestal yet, so it is understandable. And oh my
powder on the
god,
blacksmith. Well,
that is
that's a
very
convenient time to get it.
yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, we'll not see the over glitches way of getting in there, but yeah, let's just get on with it while we're here.
Well, just a note for our viewers at home that it isn't logic without the hammer.
Yeah, it is, and without mirror as well should also be stated.
Yes, good point.
Fortunately, there was nothing there though. So nothing on that obnoxious place.
It looks like we're getting the Meyer play from Keebs.
Yeah, why not? Let's go for it.
Also interesting that Sky's the only one that did Uncle and the castle, so everyone else is still doing these fights with Master Sword. Crystal doing a nice job of handling the Cold Stare fight, though, with the Fire Rod.
Yeah, it does feel like everyone else is waiting for mirror before doing it. Because not everyone has been to Pyramid yet.
Oh, Keebs decided not to go into Meyer, only check the shed. That's interesting. Wants to focus on crystals first. Which makes sense. Yeah, it's just, we know that this ice palace is totally barren, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Sky, having went back for the big chest, has decided to climb. Makes sense. It's fully in logic for him, and he needs to get it out of the way anyway.
Yeah, the only one that is logical for.
Okay, here's the bomb clip on Keeps' side. It gets it very nice.
Yeah, perfect.
Ice Palace lobby clip. This is definitely nice to have a little shortcut, because a lot of people do not like the Ice Palace dungeon, but having that in combination with the Icebreaker just makes the dungeon just feel a lot smoother.
Yeah. Yeah, just having Moth Sword, it makes rooms like this one so obnoxious. I almost wish he brought out bombos just to use that to kill them. He has half magic, so could have decided to do that instead.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your comfortability with other strats. A lot of very seasoned veterans in this game will argue against the medallion animation, but yeah, I mean, it's certainly a valid option, though.
Yeah. And if you want to really impress both me, the other commentator, and as well as the audience, you do the bomb strats.
Yeah, I normally do the bomb strat myself, but there is a rare RNG where one of the Pengators on the left side goes south and like directly and avoids the bomb blast, but generally you can get all of them with 2 quick bombs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, both. So, yeah, all 3 of our runners sitting in now a comfortable red mail as well. And it's not like we needed it at this point because they have plenty of hearts and plenty of other defensive options, but still very nice.
Okay, so interesting information from Malmo in chat. I may have been mistaken about that. if you go down too soon, she's saying it affects the enemy patterns. I don't know. I mean, you kind of have to go down immediately, though, to get the bombs out quickly. I mean, I could be mistaken, and it could be a very specific timing, but I don't know. I've always wondered why it works most of the time, but not every time for me, so I will definitely be taking a look at that. That is interesting information.
Yeah. Only was as we are seeing Critel now also heading into Chief Town. Is he gonna do like the others and dipping it out, or is he gonna fulfill it?
I don't know. Stay
and
tuned to find out.
We got the glitched bomb explosion up there on Dark Sky, not quite destroying the wall, but walking through it.
Oh yeah, the first time I saw that, I was like very confused, but yeah, definitely happens on occasion.
It's always fun to see those sort of things.
A good eye for catching that. The wall was still visible, even though it was not actually there anymore.
Yeah. So you want a little bit of trivia actually when we're talking about walls?
Sure.
When Nintendo originally created this game, they wanted to make it so that it mirrored more Zelda 1, so there was no cracks. You have to try to find those places where you could bomb the wall like you do in the vanilla game and hold your sword against them to get a little ding. But they decided it was too hard to find them.
Yeah, I have to agree with that decision. That's a very fortunate development decision there. Yeah, I mean, this is just a larger game than the original Zelda. So it would have gotten quite tedious at some point to have to find all those.
The most of them is not required, but they probably realized, when they got to making GT, that might be better to just have cracks.
So Sky, getting the GT clear done, tries to go for a little out-of-bounds clip to save time, but unfortunately didn't get it.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Krithel did it because I missed it, but it is possible to skip the bat animation with after the Agatu fight.
It is, but I couldn't teach you about it.
Yeah, it's generally one of those things that if you don't run vanilla, you're probably not aware of how to do it, but it's just, honestly, I didn't even know it saved time when I first learned it. I just, like, thought it looked cool, so I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
And we're getting a TR chip.
Yeah. So we're having the two ones we're talking about, either Chief Town or Tadrock is the next progression. And it looks like it might not be Chief Town. I think we've already seen all the items. Yeah, Dark and Sky at the same time going for a little bit of a nice swim. So if you want to try this one, you need to hold upwards as you transition here, because otherwise you will just be bonked back over to right.
Yeah, upright is how I learned it for that. But yeah, this is a very common play to just do after GT is overworld cleanup if you're still looking for progression. Okay, so we get a nice blind fight from Krithel and nothing from it, unfortunately, but the pendant.
Yeah.
I'm curious if we're gonna get a ped check from Krithel at this point, or, well, that would be out of the way, but I don't know what his next move is.
It would be out of the way because we still have not found mirror, which would have made it so much better.
Yeah, I was realizing that as I was saying it.
And okay, I thought we were gonna see a mirror wrap from Fox to get to Laser Bridge, but moved away from it.
Oh yeah, there is a way to access Laser Bridge without the mirror, but probably wants to clear up Overworld first.
Yeah.
Oh, there's the mirror in the front of Turtle Rock in the compass chest we see on Keebs' side.
That is an interesting location for that. Makes it really easy for you to also check out Mimic Cave.
Yeah, at this point, that is the only logical implication of the mirror, having already found Moon Pearl. And
Yeah. And Gibbs at the last second realized, I don't have hookshot, I have to go the other way. And also Dark Sky, well, do a little swag here by having his back to the bats.
Yes, that is an interesting little fact that you couldn't do that.
Oh, come on,
Oh,
Kiev.
Fox into Turtle Rock.
Yeah. I'm disappointed that Kiev didn't do dashing with the blue cane there to get through all of those ones. It is my favorite way to do that room.
Yeah, it's a fun one. Maybe, I don't know, could be slightly concerned about the magic for whatever reason, but it may be even more concerning is that Keebs did not check Mimic Cave.
Yeah. And also to follow up on what you said, David Magic, they were flippers who are in go mode.
Well, Keebs is not in go mode. We're in audience no mode.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. But yeah, just to fill out there again, being a little bit worried about Magic. He was in Vessel Outcast before this, and he did pick up a blue goo from Sea House, so shouldn't be too worried about the Magic at this point.
I don't know, maybe he just wasn't thinking about it. I know I forget things sometimes. Racing is a bit stressful, I think, even though it is very fun.
Yeah. Dark Sky is also gonna pick up that shovel and be baited over there, just like Crit was just a moment ago.
But yeah, unfortunately, not dipping Turtle Rock well near the mountain, though. Because we know that's where Sky needs to go. But Fox is going to get the flippers pretty soon, and still needs the hook shot from Vitreous, as does Keebs.
And it is just a matter of time before he goes there and finds out.
Nice shovel dash from Sky.
Yeah. Also, we have the mushroom set here for Kittel. It's gonna be Buttersword? Nah, just 10 arrows.
So we're Sky checking the mushroom now as well. Or no, maybe, I don't know where this is. I mean, he doesn't have the mushroom marked on his tracker, so I don't know, I'm not sure. But maybe he does have it.
He has it, he just doesn't have flute. Sky is just taking a little bit of a longer way here.
Well, Krythal is doing the ped check, even though we've already found out that it can't be anything.
A heart container.
Keebs certainly is not.
Ooh, nice.
I say Keebs is certainly not short on heart containers. Having 17 heart containers in his Triax fight.
Yeah, that clock tempered pickup from Kiev there was really nice.
Oh,
Because all of us know how irritating it is to do Master Sword hammer strats.
Yeah, sometimes you just get rough patterns from Trinex, and the hitbox on those heads, like with the rods, are a little bit deceptive, I would have to say. At least for the blue one. I know you want to aim like a little bit lower than you might expect, because there's the fire rod can just whiff straight through the top of the head.
Yeah. Oh, looks like Kiev is also gonna be baited. In case you missed it, we just also saw Kutel the other way to climb ledges, and that is by bombing into them and that way getting up them.
Yeah, that was a very nice overworld bomb clip. And right now we're seeing the mirrorless wrap to Laser Bridge, and this is, of course, not in logic, but it is illegal in the rule set.
Yep.
So Krithel knows he's not going to find the big key back here, but he might find his go mode, or so he thinks. But still needing the flippers and the hook shot.
Yeah.
Sky into Ice Palace, getting the bomb clip through the lobby wall.
Yeah. And yeah, look at that. Kieb is getting baited by Shovel as well. Oop.
I feel like you have to check it. I mean, it's so late in the seed, and like all the checks are bad at this point.
It is. It is. Yeah, Meyer is not the first check you are thinking about. I just got flippers. Time to check Meyer for what's gonna be my hook shot go mode.
Yeah, that's actually really unfortunate for Fox, Keeps, and Krithel finding flippers before hookshot. They might decide to go into Swamp looking for it, rather than Vitreous, even though they will be able to figure out that it's an item when they clear Meyer, it is a bit of a long trek to do one check. Well, I suppose it's two with the green pendant, so never mind, forget what I just said.
Still, yeah, I agree. It is irritating to go in there without hookshot when it comes to SMG, because it just takes a little bit of a while to clip in there. It is at those points you're hoping that somehow small key did land in the first S, so you don't have to think about it. But normally you don't get that kind of things to do.
You know, it's interesting that you bring up that first chest, because that first chest can literally be any item in the game, for the most part. It can't be flippers, but we know it's not the case in this seed, but the mirror being available means it could have been the hookshot in that chest, like, potentially, even though not today, but that chest is just one of those, like, chests that could be really trolly. Or if there is a small key there, it has implications about the Meyer medallion possibly being in Swamp, in other seeds as well.
Yeah. And yeah, we are seeing Kieb. He's gonna go there. He's gonna use a citrus clip to do it.
Yeah, this is a dash citrus. I'm assuming this is what Fox did in Ice Palace, even though I missed it.
Yeah, it was. And Fox is also gonna go there.
Using a select buffer like this, you can advance Link's movement one frame at a time and get a very precise motion, and that was very nicely done from Keebs.
Yeah. It is understandable that our runners are doing this, but Fox though doing the little bit the different one and heading to the good old Dark Cross.
Yeah, that is another clip that's available to our runners. Unfortunately, just gets a heart container, but if you get the clip first try, it is faster to check it this way than from the castle. Although I have to say that it was an interesting choice, because Fox may not know where the small key and the map in the castle are, so it could have been a waste of time.
He is the only runner with bar sword. He has been to Uncle.
Oh, right. My mistake.
So he decided to just do it this way instead of death warping when he was doing front and checking a Dark Cross that way.
Oh, thank you for that. Then it's a little difficult to follow Forerunners. Alright, so Fox was fully aware of the key and map layout in Hyrule Castle, so and knew it was an item before doing it, which is very smart.
Okay. I'm trying to look at the tracker to see if there's anything else that could troll them in Swamp, but I don't think there's anything left for them to do that.
Yeah, there's very little of this seed we've not seen, and because they already have done all the fetch quests of mushroom, powder, shovel, mitts.
Yeah. Oh right, we missed that when Kirby was doing this. Is Fox gonna be able to defeat the stair boss? Yes, he
No.
does. So yeah, if you didn't know, there are 2 stair bosses in Swamp.
Yeah, usually you get that stair section glitch if you don't have the hammer, because you're forced to double dip Swamp from Hera or from Meyer, depending on how you do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is in logic for the sake of unlocking doors. So Fox going out, flooding the dam, and going to reset his dungeon ID to Swamp by entering through the front door, as we have already seen on Keeves' side.
Yep. One thing that you could opt to do is if you go here, before you head over to the right, and you have found the big key in Hera or in Maya if you clipped from there, you could then just say, let me just head over and open the big chest.
Yeah, that certainly is an option.
And then be punished when you find another big key in there.
Well, I wouldn't say punished, but I mean, it's certainly not ideal. It's not like they need the big key for anything in Swamp other than opening that chest, but kind of an amusing scenario.
Sorry, I meant humiliated.
Well, yeah, self-locking big keys are definitely more of a thing in this mode than they already were in standard open and no glitches. Yeah. So Sky back into Palace of Darkness, or yeah, this is a revisit because obviously had to come here earlier to get the Moon Pearl. So Sky needs to finish up Helmasaur and then unlock Swamp and do Argus, and that's it for Sky. So Krithel is closing in on his hook shot if he decides to full clear and go to the boss here.
Also, we forgot to mention it, but it's a little bit of a meme when it comes to randomizers that you're going to Top Rock to find either the bow or the flippers. So I like how that meme is continuing.
Yeah, I mean, Turtle Rock is an item-dense dungeon, even with the standard item shuffle, meaning not key sanity. You get 5 non-dungeon items, and then the Mimic Cave on top of it if you have the mirror. So yeah, it is definitely common for Turtle Rock to troll with items.
Yeah. And just to fill out the question, then is that no, Sky is the only one of our runners who has not picked up the flippers yet.
Oh, right. My mistake. I apologize for losing track of things, but yeah, it's going to have to go to Turtle Rock eventually. Running out of options here. It's already dipped the Front of Thieves, so that is not a super appealing option.
Yeah. But look in the bottom right. What are we seeing?
Yeah, Krithel is clearing out Meyer. Most likely going to go to the boss.
Yeah. Oh, Gibbs going back to GT.
Yeah, so I'm fairly certain that the key logic prevents the hookshot from being upstairs, even though it was not on the right side.
Yeah, I think so.
Or even though the big key was on the right side, excuse me, but has shown hovering prowess, so is just going to get this done anyway.
Yeah. There was at least one thing that Fox found inside Swamp, and that is the final shield.
Oh no.
Unfortunately, he has only been to Turtle Rock, so we'll not be able to use that shield to its full intention. Oh, and we are gonna see the clip into Meyer from here.
Accidentally gets an up teleport instead of a down. This is a bit of an uncommon route, but it is an option.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
also
see,
he
what-
also do it on the wrong side.
There is a way to do it from that side, but I don't know what it is. I've seen other people do it, but yeah, what happened to him usually happens to me, which is why I don't go this way usually. But
It is
that's
also a little
common.
bit scary because of if you go downwards too much because you need to go a little bit away from it to be able to go over to the left. If you go too far down, you are hard locking yourself.
Yeah,
Really?
definitely, potentially, yeah. So Krithel, the first of our runners in go mode at 128.08 there.
Good job from him. Was not quick enough to pull out the mirror and just leaving, so has to sit through this cutscene.
Now, actually, that's interesting you bring that up, is you cannot mirror out of the boss rooms other than Armos and Landmo for whatever reason. This is something that comes up in no logic, but could have saved and quit, but the game will actually not let you mirror out of any boss room that is after the developers intended you to have the mirror. At least not when the prize falls. I mean, you can mirror out during the fight, unfortunately, but... It's just an interesting little thing that doesn't often come up. So Fox not going into Meyer is a little unfortunate. But it's interesting that you brought up the right side versus left side for that clip, is because a lot of these overworld glitches, there are multiple ways to achieve the same thing, so it usually just depends on what someone learned or what they're comfortable with, and things of that nature. So you get to see a lot of different styles when you see a race, or different runners playing a glitched mode. Oh, if Fox didn't do Thieves Town at all, that's right. Now here's the hover from Keebs. Wow, first try. Very nice.
Yeah, sorry, I had to type out some stuff for some people.
Oh, no problem.
But yeah, as you
Okay, so
said, Kittel finishing off what he needs to do with Swan Palace. Unfortunately, Foxlink decided to send it to Thief Town, but it's understandable.
Yeah, so Krizzle already has GT done, so is literally about to finish this. He just needs to do a quick go mode swamp and go to Ganon afterwards. But I think all of our runners, except for Fox, have actually completed GT already. Or all of our runners on Restream, rather. Nice. Krithel showing us the splashless left side diver down. Very nice.
Yeah, good job there. Yeah, he's being chased by Dark Sky at the moment, so... I do like one thing when I'm looking in between our runners here. We have effectively two 1v1s where we have Dark and Sky and Quitel. Both are in Swamp and both sitting on Titans. No, not Titans, and Tempered Swords. And on the other side we have Foxlix and Kieb, but trying to find hooks out, and both of them having Butter Swords. So I quite like that. Quitel deciding to not try to do either the Fire Rod or Silvers. They are just doing their spins to get August down, and he's gonna be finishing here shortly because he has already done the gauntlet, so he just needs to head over to the hole and jump down, and then he will have to fight the pig.
Yep, and with the red mail and tempered sword and silver arrows and 15 hearts, well, this is going to be a pretty easy fight for him, I would think.
Yeah. Yeah, he should not be any problem here. Oh, and Kieb and Foxlix both entering Chief Town at the same time.
Yeah, a bit of a sync there. A nice trident spin there.
Oh, Foxlix is leaving. Does that leave introduced him going to Meyer? He's heading downwards that way, sorta.
Alright, so Kurtl gets a nice 1-1 on the first two phases of the Ganon fight.
Yeah, that is really nice.
Sky not too far behind, just has to finish up this Argus fight.
Yeah. Oh, tried to get in a little bit of other sneaky hit there, but was battered by the fire. At the same time, Dark and Sky has collected the crystal from Swamp, but it is just too big of a lead here. Quit able to get a double here to finish off his Ganon fight.
Yeah, that was very nice.
He's gonna be our first finisher here on the restream. He just needs to cross that famous hardest gap in the game and finishing off with an official race time of 1 hour 35 minutes and 28 seconds. That earns him a third spot in this daily race.
Let's get your GGs in chat for Krithal. That was very nicely done. This was not a fast seed, but he did it in a very quick time.
Yeah, was looking a little bit grim at times there because of just where Hookshot was, but was able to snuff it out quickly enough.
And Sky into the Ganon fight now.
Yeah. And you're just reading out the race chat here a little bit quickly. Finishing on first place was Obscure Lifeform with a 1:29.07, and then 9 seconds after that, Tam finished off second place with 1:29.16. So a very intense race between those two.
Yeah, the snipe from Obscure. So Sky already into phase 3 of the Ganon fight. Just needs to do a couple more sword hits and then 4 arrows. Of course, Ganon is the warp guy, so they're gonna have to wait a little bit.
We're trying to set up a cheeky blue hit here, but was not able to get it. He's gonna be able to get a double, but would not, because of that, that would not be able to get the torch glitch. But still be fine anyways with 2 quick singles. He was finished off Ganon.
There's GG's in chat for Sky as well.
Oh, and Kiebs is going to Meyer.
Okay, so Sky gonna take second on Restream with an official time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 36 seconds. GG.
Yep, that earns him a 4th position in the daily race. So we have another funny comment here coming in from Malmö. There is one way for all of our other runners to improve their time, and that is not have a K in the word, because the two racers who didn't have a K in the word came first and second, so might be a way there to get that one fixed. Oh, and Foxlix, no? Not quite getting the clip there.
Yeah, I think he pushed up instead of down, but I'm not sure what causes this. For the catfish DMD, yeah, if you just hold down, you get an auto walk.
Yeah, must have accidentally hold somewhere on the sides in some way. But let's welcome our 2 finishers so far, which is Dark in the Sky and Quitel. Very much GG between you 2.
Hey, GG's.
Yeah, GG, congratulations.
So what do you guys think about the flipper in TR versus the hookshot in Meyer?
Pick a pendant, most of them are right. Still managed to pick wrong.
Yeah, should have gone to Turtle Rock sooner, but it turned out okay in the end since I did the early Meyer dip.
Yeah, that was the thing here. Dark and Sky had flipper go mode, while you other 3 had hookshot go mode.
Yeah, flipper go mode definitely seems better. Well, you don't fall clear TR, right, with flipper go mode.
Right.
So,
Well,
Yeah,
Krythal, you
definitely.
avoided a trap that Fox and Keeps Gaming unfortunately did not. They both went to Swamp without the hook shot and unfortunately wasted a lot of time, but Sky definitely was the
100%.
first one to get the hook shot. Sorry, go ahead.
Like, when I got the flippers, 100% the plan was go to Swamp, but I decided I'd just do it via Maya. So, which obviously panned out pretty well.
Yeah. Also, we also got to see both you and Kieb, I think it was. It was either Kieb or Foxlix doing the rail clip for in a pod to get to the boss. Unfortunately, the other runner was not able to get it, so we do like that.
Yeah, it's rough. I haven't practiced in a dungeon in a long time, and it's much harder in a dungeon. So, I mean, I didn't save time on it, but got to do it anyway.
Yeah, you stuck it out and definitely got it done. It was. How did you feel when you found the bow afterwards?
I'm always gonna basement clip there, even if I had the bow, I'd do it. You know, if you practiced, it's just faster, especially if you're full clearing cards, you're just at the back already. Just knock it out. But yeah, I just needed to do select buffers from the start. Took me a while to swap over.
Rail clip would have been nice for this seed because then you don't have to go back for the second trip.
Precisely, it just cuts out a whole other trip in this seed, so I didn't lose that much time with it, even having messed it up a bunch.
Add that to my list of things to learn.
It was also the fact that it sort of turned into 1v1. The two 1v1s, one between you 2 and one between Kieb and Foxlick, with them having butter swords while you guys were running around with tempered.
Where was the last sword?
For you it was at the chest near Uncle, and for you, Dark, it was on Laser Bridge.
Oh boy.
So you're not far away from getting butter.
Yeah.
There were some interesting moments in this race. So Fox was mimic clipping the right side of Pod, and then Krithel, you just hovered across to the right side and like beat him to it. I really appreciated that moment. I thought it was hilarious.
That hover's so good. Mostly because Mimic Clip's so bad.
Yeah, it feels really bad to miss that hover when you have to mimic clip after.
Yeah, I was all ready for it. I should have brought a potion just in case. It's a PCU. Didn't think that
We
far
did
ahead.
also see one unfortunate thing happen as well, and that was that we saw 3 people head up the gauntlet because of the bow that you guys found in there, and it was only you, Critel, who was able to get past Moldum to the other build, so they had to do gauntlet twice.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very sketchy GT, and as it turns out, if I'd just followed logic, I would have been able to do it much quicker. But yeah, it wasn't a comfortable climb at the best of times. We made it.
Yeah, you guys made it work.
Though Keebs has found his hookshot and is in go mode going to swamp, Fox is approaching the Vitreous fight, is about to be in go mode himself. Just a little update if anyone is listening and not watching.
Yeah, we also got a really nice comment from Malm. I'm just telling you two now, and that was that if you guys want to improve on your play, you should take out the K from your name, because the only 2 races who didn't have a K in the name were the 2 winners.
That's the secret, eh?
Apparently it is. Also looking here, we have had another finisher. It is Red Kisoon, who got 5th in the daily race and finished off at 1:42.43. There we go. Foxlix was able to get the save quit out of Maya though, as soon as he picked up him or she, I don't know which it is, so he got their hooks out.
So, Krithel or Sky, do you have any other thoughts or comments about the seed?
I'm just glad that it didn't end up being Turtle Rock or Purple Chests, which I voluntarily chose to skip and would have absolutely last locationed them there.
Purple chest would have been an
Or
absolute nightmare.
Thieves Town, sorry, not Turtle Rock.
Oh, I was gonna say, I mean, it did end up being Thieves Town, but
One of
that's
those
alright.
T dungeons, right?
It was very
No,
close to
just-
get emptied though, so, and for the longest time, no one of you could check it out just because where Mira was. You can scout Ped, which would have been irritating if that was the case.
Yeah, no mirror was surprisingly annoying this seed for most of it anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sky, you had a little bit of a hiccup, or I think you just forgot and like took a death warp when instead of backtracking out of Thieves Town.
Yeah,
It didn't end up costing you too much, though.
that one felt pretty bad, I will admit.
I think we've all done it before on occasion. Especially because you
Definitely
don't
not my
always
first
play
time
glitch
either.
modes.
Right.
The big reason I ended up doing Thieves Town before TR was because I hadn't cleared front. Because of exactly that. I didn't want to death warp out or walk out. So I ended up leaving it completely and picked it up before TR. And Maya.
Yeah.
Was a shame.
Yeah, what are
Keebs
you waiting
is-
for? Continue.
I was just gonna say, Keebs has all his crystals and Agatu done, just needs to do the Ganon fight, so not too far behind our other runners, and Fox right behind him going to Argus, so overall it seems like everyone was pretty close together, despite the seed being a little bit trolly. Oh, sorry, my mistake. I forgot that Fox had saved and quit out of GT, so it may be a little bit further behind. My mistake. The tracker's correcting me. Thank you, Hugo.
So I'm looking here. There is not a lot of stuff when it comes to on the speed gaming side. After this, there is the German tournament going on between Tech Warrior and Killa HR that you could potentially check out if you know German. I unfortunately don't, so I will have to sit that one out. Yeah, we are back to the warps over on Kiev's side. Oh, and he takes a fall.
Oh, that is unfortunate, but it happens.
And yeah, Foxleaks also has to finish off GT. I completely forgot that he had not finished it off yet. I thought this race was way closer.
Yeah, I forgot as well, since he did do the climb, but yeah, I guess just wasn't having the proper rhythm for the hover today. I can't say I know what that's like, but I've heard people say some days it's just not happening.
There is one thing though, a little bit later tonight. It is the SMC3 weekly. That one is happening at 9 p.m. EST, which is 3 a.m. CET. Yeah, it is the normal 553 fast Ganon race when it comes to that one. So that is one thing to check out later tonight. But there we go, the last hit. Let's see if we hit on Ganon. And there we go. He finishes off with an official time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 59 seconds. He got 7th. We had Maccat finishing, coming 6th place with 1:44.39. And Kiebs has joined us here in the commentary booth. GG's.
Yeah, I guess. GG's. I think I'm the only person that can turn a hour seed into an hour 50, but
There's no way this was an hour seed. I mean, don't be so hard on yourself. Our first place was 129. This was a trolley seed. I mean, you had to go independent TR for flippers and pendant vitreous with the hook shot. I mean, give yourself a little slack there.
it just felt really bad being 2 from go at 35 minutes and then, yeah, basically, last locating that hook shot.
But yeah, let's just think about it, because there are 2 long checks in pendant dungeons, and so that makes it at least a little bit more understandable why this is not the 1 hour seed.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I thought your performance was good. The calls that you made seemed reasonable, and I don't think I have seen you race before. I can't recall, but it was nice to see, a runner I've never seen before. You showed some nice hovers and, some interesting stuff. I mean, the seed just didn't favor you. I don't think that you played bad particularly in any way.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
glad
you did have a little bit of a hiccup.
I got to finally hover on Restream, so.
Yeah,
I was gonna say,
as I stated for others, you were, as well as me, were both in the mentor tournament for the glitch one. So it's nice to see you coming this far. when it comes to the tricks and execution.
Yeah, I thought my my tricks were okay. I messed up. I only hard locked the one time, I think, going to do when I did the DMD, because I swapped in my head the light world version where you have to push right first before you bonk up and then push down, and I pushed right and then wrapped myself infinitely. So I think that was the only one I actually messed up.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You had like a little hiccup there, but you had just saved, so it wasn't like it wasn't a big deal. But yeah, and a lot of the people in this race are like veterans, like literally like monsters at the game. You beat Fox, who is like one of the fastest runners I know. Tam, Krithel, Obscure, like all these names are. Obscure won the main tournament, so yeah, I don't feel bad at all about with your placement in the race. I mean, you did fine in my opinion, and I mean, I'm glad that you played today. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, it was good to play. I thought all the early items were like super nice. We had a lot of dungeons to do. I was narrowing down where that hook shot could be just based on the fact that I got Mitt's left side, and I forget there was something else that I think was hook shot locked. But I was just like, I'm gonna avoid certain checks that I still had left. But
yeah, the mitts were in the rando room. I don't remember what else was hook locked in GT.
Was it K? No, it was Mushroom. I think it was.
Well, there was a bow in GT as well, I think.
I think that was on right side though.
Well, either way.
Yeah. Anyways, get your next couple of GGs in the chat for Fox Leaks, as he's also finishing now.
Official time of 1 hour, 54 minutes, and 17 seconds. GG to Fox.
We're gonna see if he wants to come in here. Yeah. But we can mention that there were 3 runners all over you that had flippers go mode and 1 that had hookshot go mode. Also, it's an interesting one there, isn't that, Kibbs?
Yeah, I went to TR first because the game gave me like all the TR stuff early. So when I had to go to a pendant, I was like, all right, let's just do TR because the game obviously wanted me to go there, but it also wanted me to go to Meyer.
Okay. Oh, Dark and Sky was sitting with that hookshot for probably an hour before he got flippers. Or not an hour, but it sat with a really long time.
Yeah, I just chose to do the Meyer dip because I was right there. And like we said, the seed gave us everything for it early on. I was like, it's on the route. It's going to be hard to come back. I'll just do it right now. And boy, did it pay off.
Yeah, I think when I did Meyer Shed, I could have done Meyer, but like also had other crystals to do, so said no.
Yeah, it is understandable. It is the sort of play you would do if you're doing qualifiers with those massive 50 or so runners, where you if you want to get the placement, you do those little gambles. It's understandable.
Well, it makes sense. It's just unfortunate that a lot of the crystal dungeons like didn't have anything. Like Ice definitely had nothing. Skull had nothing. Desert and Hera had nothing. Pod had Moon Pearl. And Swamp had nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like he's not coming in, so I think it's about time to wrap it up here. Yeah, so once again, thanks so much to our runners, Dark and Sky, Kibbs, Foxlix, and Quitel for giving us an amazing performance, showing us some really nice glitches and execution. Thanks so much to our tech, which was to Kemps and Hugo Maya for keep making sure so that me and the Dark and Sky Warrior, no, not Dark Sky, me and GD Silvergun looking like we know what we are talking about. So thanks so much to Professor Rendrier that was doing the restream. So thank you guys so much for watching, and we see you guys on the next daily race.
Yes, please follow the runners, follow my co-commentator. Thanks again for tracking and restreaming, and thanks to our runners, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.